host tonight. We have a panel of guests from all over the country tonight, which is very exciting for us and for you because everybody on the show speaks their mind. That's the whole idea. We say whatever we please, and that's how the show works. If you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is submit your information to us by email, and we will decide to have you on the show. And if you are on the show, doggone it, you can say whatever the fuck you want. That's how our show rolls. So let's get it started. We're going to start with our first guest tonight is Emily Alexandra.
Hello, everyone. From Orlando, Florida, professional mermaid and host of my own talk show, All Talks of Life.
And that is what's up. We go to my man, Donny Dahl.
What's up, everybody? I'm Donny Dahl. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am a DJ, a musician, a singer, entertainer, all around. Just likes to have some fun.
That's what's up. We go to the duo down in the corner. These two, Kicker and Tristen. Let's hear from you.
What's up, beautiful people? We are Kicker and Tristen. We run the Already Perfect Foundation and Already Perfect Enterprises. We really like to help a lot of people. Michael's here in beautiful Vegas before the apocalypse, and we're honored to be here. Thank you for having us.
Excellent. Okay, so we've met our guests. They're a pretty spunky crew, I will say. These guys have a little something going on. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our first question, which is kind of an emotional question. Let's cut. Kicker and Tristen, yeah, thank you. Mute.
Yeah, and Donnie's not muted either.
Donnie's okay. It's
okay.
I think because they're outside, we're getting some feedback. So I'm gonna go in. We'll just cut from there. No big deal. That's great. The intros were fabulous. Okay, so we go to our first question. All right, so we met our panel. Everybody looks great. Our guests are fabulous. Kind of a sexy looking group of guests tonight, I will say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not my style, but they like nice looking people. Anyway, we're gonna go to our first question. No, everybody does look fabulous. Our first question tonight is kind of an emotional one. Okay, so think about this before you answer. Your best friend is an emotional wreck, and these are trying times, troubling circumstances, and you're the only person they can trust right now. What would you say to talk someone down from a suicide attempt? Go to Donny.
Oh, I'm going to start. Okay. This is heavy. This is heavy for me too. Been there, done that. I guess for me personally, I would be more of somebody being there, just being there for that person, and not there to try to fix it, and just sitting there and being there for that person, because I feel like that's going to be more of an impact than anything else.
And all right, I agree. Let's go to Tristen and Kicker. You got a thought on this?
Yeah, it's actually a subject that we do know a lot about, especially, like I mentioned, we run this Already Perfect Foundation, which is tuned to depressive disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, onset, childhood traumas, and suicide prevention. And I've personally been able to be honored to be in the position to literally talk people down from the bullet. And the number one thing that I always mention first is value. Learning your own personal value and what you have to give, even if it's only your breath, and your breath is a compliment to somebody else, that could save somebody else's life. I like to show people the very simple things in life that you can gratify with and appreciate, so that you never have those thoughts that, sure, actually those thoughts will still come, but you know how to battle those thoughts better. When those dark seasons come, you could see it like, I ain't trying to rush out here and tape trees, tape leaves back on the tree because I'm sad that the leaf died. No, you got to know when seasons are. And if those seasons come, those dark times come, you can know how to have your own personal value even through those seasons. So yeah, we do know a little bit about that subject, and personal value would be the first place that I go when I talk about that.
And that is what's up. I'm going to ask you for the Cliff Notes version next time, though. We go to Emily Alexandra. Emily, you got a thought on this?
Okay. I have not ever been in a situation like that, but I think just foreseeing it, I would somehow be able to manipulate them getting off. whether that was with money, taking them on a big vacation or going shopping, just to get them off that ledge immediately. And then once they get off, then we try and come to terms of reality. But I think in the moment of just that moment of crisis and they're on a ledge about to go over, you've got to be quick on your toes and manipulating that person, knowing what they like the most. If that's going shopping or doing something that, something to convince them to get off the ledge, then it must be done.
Hey, I don't have a counter to any of that. And by the way, on the show, if you ever have a counter opinion to what someone else said, you're welcome to say, excuse me, Eton, I don't agree with homeboy. And that's what's up. So no one has a counter. It seems like we all kind of agree that's kind of how that would go down. Let's go to the next question then. Could you ever sustain a long-term intimate relationship? We're talking about doing the damn thing. We're talking about having sex, okay? Could you sustain a long-term intimate relationship with someone you had no romantic feelings for if that person paid all the bills, paid for everything? You have to worry about a single financial thing in your life because this person paid for everything. Sex with them, probably yucky, but bills are paid. Let's go to Donny.
Do I look like the person who needs a sugar mama? I don't know.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
I don't think I could do it. Like, number one, I like to work too much. I like to get out and do my own thing way too much, and I don't think that would be life for me.
Not at all.
No,
Not at all.
not at all.
For $100 bajillion trillion, Donny. New music equipment, speakers, turntables, lights, microphone, cable.
I had all that stuff. I sold all that stuff to move out here. That's how bad I wanted to live in Las Vegas. So, come on now. I don't need that.
Okay, none of that for you. Let's go to Kicker and Tristen. Same question. Could you sustain? Now, the two of you, you're in a relationship, right?
Yeah. Yes, we are.
I believe we are. Yes, sir.
I believe we are. Are you unsure of this?
I said I believe. There was no doubt in it.
The answer to that question for me is absolutely not. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
You're not currently doing it? You're not currently doing it?
No, I'm not. No,
it?
absolutely not. No, I actually enjoy having sex with him. So that would mean it was yucky, and it's not.
Don't turn it into that. We can't unsee that now. We can't unsee that. Bro, we go to Emily Alexandra in Florida. Emily Alexandra says.
So this is the big one for me, because when I was in my teens, 18, 19, 20, 21, in my early years of college, I did have relationships like this that did support me through school and my ventures, and even investing in startup companies that today I'm living off of. So I'm very proud of that. And I think that's absolutely an okay thing if young people want to do that, whether you're male or female. I mean, there are sugar mamas out there too, okay?
Right.
But I'm all for it.
So would you sugar mama again? Would you sugar baby again? Like at this point, because you said you did it. Would you do it again now? Like, would you, hey, $100 trillion and DJ equipment?
For a right amount of money, yes. Yep, I sure would.
Yeah.
But it has to be a lot of money now. Lots of money now.
Yeah, the financial thing.
I'm good. I have a stable foundation, and I make my own money, and I'm very happy. But if another situation came around that was like presenting me with a private plane and a massive mansion, absolutely I would.
Shit, I might too, for a private plane and a massive mansion. Anybody got a counter to that? Anything want to add? Anybody?
I got something to say. Uh-huh.
You always do.
They have to pay. They have to pay length times girth.
True. True. You know what? Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. So here's something. I know we're not talking pandemic on here, but if this quarantine lasts much longer, I need a damn pool I can go swim at. So I'm about to take anything I can get right now. So.
Myself, I would probably sell my ass for a can of Mandarin orange slices, to be real honest. That's how serious it is. That's how serious it is.
Very nice.
Would they go?
That's a thought I don't want to see either, Ace. Thank you.
You know,
well, you have one.
between
You put us in
his pool theory and your orange theory, I just pictured a pool of oranges.
You
guys
started with the visuals. You put
doing
visuals.
some Mandarin Kama Sutra stuff.
Moving
Just
forward,
had a whole cartoon play in my head.
Moving forward, let's say the ideal of time travel. We're going to talk about time travel for just a second. Imagine that it's possible that you can go anywhere in time. You can travel through time anywhere. And where would you like to go? Forward or backward? And what would you change? Who would you take with you? And what would you bring back? I'm going to go to Emily.
Okay, so that's a really good one. You know, because we've already, as humans, we've already been in the past, right? Because we've lived this as humans. So I feel like I would go into the future, way in the future, maybe like the year 1,000, 100,000. You know how we're in like 2020? Mm-hmm. So I would probably go to like year 100,000, where we can literally disappear and read minds and fly around the cosmos. Like, things would be so different. So I would just be fascinated to go to the future and then somehow bring a technology back, patent it, and then just rule the world.
And there you have it. We're going to go to Donny. Donny, time to travel.
That was like mind-blowing. That was pretty fun.
Where would you go, brother?
Well, I would probably, I have 2 time periods I could go back to, because I would, number 1 would probably be the 80s for me. I'm such an 80s child. I love the 80s. I mean, I have a Motley Crue tattoo, for crying out loud. To see Vince Neil in his prime before he sounded like Vince Neil. I mean, I love you, Vince. If this gets out of the joke, don't take it personal.
Yes.
Yes. But go back to the 80s to see the vintage rock bands, hair bands that I loved from back in that era, you know, and maybe go back to the early 70s to party with Freddie Mercury as well.
Nice. I ain't mad at that. Hey, let's go to Tristen and Kicker. Or is it Tristen and Kicker or Kicker and Tristen? How do you like to be addressed?
We can go with Kicker and
Kicker and Tristen.
And just on what you just said, I kind of wanted to touch on that, because you said going back to the 80s, and for some reason I pictured you going back to the 80s to go to the movie theater to watch Back to the Future, and it blew my freaking mind.
That would be crazy, right? That would be crazy.
Like, the only reason I went back to that time was so that I could go back to watch Back to the Future, and so I could go back to the future saying I watched Back to the Future in the past.
Good one. I might want to go to myself to see Johnny Depp in Freddy Krueger's Nightmare on Elm Street, just to tell him, dude, this is a terrible career choice, and you're going to make a lot more after this one. Please stop. You had a good thing going with the whole 21 Jump Street thing. You got that going. 21 Jump Street thing. You got that going.
Keep it going.
That's me, though.
Well, I think on the place that I would go in history, I would, in time, I guess I should say, is I would go all the way back to the origins of everything, back to the single dot that exploded into existence and is still expanding today, and kind of bring back with me the knowledge of what happened, so that it would be less of a confusion on a lot of people are confused on what science says, and then they mix in all these different crazy arguments. And it'd be nice to be like, look, I got to go there, I got to check it out, here's my proof, you guys can relax, everybody can get along, whole universe is about relationship. That's where it starts and that's where it ends.
I'm flabbergasted by that answer, actually. Anybody else flabbergasted? I'm like, whoa. That was deep, bro. I like that. I like that. We're moving on. If no one stops me, we're moving on. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Everybody down to talk about sex? We're ready to talk about sex? Here's a question about sex. What is it about filthy sex that makes you feel good? And what is it about good sex that makes you feel filthy? I go to the couple in the corner. Tristen and Kicker, I know you guys got an opinion on sex.
We don't talk about sex.
Yeah, there's not much talking going on.
No, there's not much.
It's rude to talk with your mouth full.
You know, I would like to answer this. You over there.
Just a bunch of babbling and slobbering. That's it. No talking.
It is. I know. It actually really is. We won't go there. Anyway, filthy sex is fun. Filthy sex is exciting. Filthy sex is dirty and nasty, but it's raw and fun and exciting, and it makes you feel all great. And that's my take on filthy sex.
But what is filthy sex? What is filthy sex?
What is filthy sex? What is filthy sex?
Doing the butt. No, that's a dance. Sorry, that's a dance. That's a dance.
Well, everyone has their own classification of what filthy sex is. I don't know.
Anything other than missionary in some people.
Some people, yeah.
Some people say you can't have sex standing up because they accuse you of dancing.
Okay.
So, I guess filthy sex is kind of just doing things that you wouldn't. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anything other than just good old fashioned meat mashing.
Yeah. But
I knew you weren't going to be able to keep a straight face.
All right, we go to Emily Alexandra. Emily Alexandra, what is it about filthy sex that makes you feel good? And what is it about good sex that makes you feel filthy?
Okay, well, all sex is good. And good is filthy, filthy is good. I think when a couple and you're about to do it, if you want to role play, it just makes it more creative, and it allows you to, step out of your boundaries and have a little bit of risky behavior. I think it's very intriguing, and it allows the sex drive to become more expanded, and it's fun to role play. I think that is vital. The relationship that I am, we love to role play and be naughty, which makes our relationship in real life even closer. So I think it's great. I like it. Yeah, I think anyone should at least try it. It may not be for everyone.
Should at least try it. It may not be for everyone.
No, I'm in a full agreement with you there, Emily.
Keep going. I'm almost there.
We go for more civilized opinion. We go to Donny. Donny, let's hear what you have to say. I see you making faces in the corner. Donny, what do you have to say about all this madness?
Well, all I'm going to ask is how many people are involved and how many cameras do you have? And that's it. That's all I got to say.
That's it. So we didn't really answer that question. What is it about filthy sex that makes you feel good? About filthy sex. For example, if you've ever launched off into the wrong section of the internet where I'm in some territory that's not for me. What is it about that? How do you know that that's not for you? Somehow you know. Somehow as soon as you see it, you go, ooh, no, not for me. So what is it about?
Why do I feel that way when I go to Boulder City?
What's Boulder City? I don't know about Boulder City. What happens in Boulder City? Is that the business? That's off. Is that off camera? You gonna hook me up?
Yeah. No, it's just. I guess what It's more of the getting caught, maybe doing it in public, something like that, getting caught in a dressing room, stuff like that. It's like
That makes it filthy. That's when
Yep.
you know you've crossed the line because you're doing something that you're not supposed to do. If you get caught, you're going to be embarrassed or ashamed. Interesting. I've been having a bunch of experiences with trannies. When I was out on the strip, Donnie, promoting clubs, I used to always run into two types of people that wanted to have sex with me. Three. There was gay men that would come up, and they were always very aggressive, and so you knew they were gay because they were coming aggressive. And then I was getting always the two chick combo lesbians or bi women and trannies. Like trannies were just loving me when I was out on the strip, and I didn't know what it was about me or what I was doing, but I wasn't interested in having sex.
What a beautiful chocolate man!
But why trannies? Like, what made a transsexual say, you know what, he's the one, the bald head one, let's go get him? I don't know. But to me, that was too filthy. I couldn't even entertain the thought of it because to me, it was like, nah, that's too nasty. I'm not doing that ever. Right? So what is it about?
I don't believe in doing anything having to do with human waste.
Yeah,
human what?
That's a lot.
Waste. I cannot support the shit that's done with shit or piss.
Yeah.
I'm out, yo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like things that smell nice.
I would agree. That's me though. I would agree.
Everything besides that, dead people is open.
No necrophilia, no bestiality.
Yeah,
that's
and
out.
animals. But everything else is open. You know.
And everything consensual, of course.
Of course.
We certainly endorse consensual.
And don't break
and
the laws
age appropriate.
Don't break the laws.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So if you're gonna bring harm, make it a good swat on the ass.
A consensual one.
Leave your mark.
All right, we're gonna go from sex.
A consensual one. Yeah.
We're gonna go from sex to our childhood.
Really in trouble, but she's a naughty girl.
You guys ready? We're going from sex now to our childhood. We're gonna go back in time. We're gonna think about when we were children. As a kid, what was the wildest or craziest, most imaginative thing you ever did that you realize now as an adult would never work in our world that we live in as grown people? I say again, what was the wildest or craziest, most imaginative thing you ever did as a kid that now as an adult you realize would never have worked anyway? It's ridiculous. It's a fantasy. And I go to Emily.
Okay, so this is good. When I was a lot younger, like all other children, I'm sure, we have make-believe friends. And I used to have a friend named Paint. Like you paint a house. Mm-hmm. So my the name of the imaginary friend was Paint, and we would fly. And now it's just like that was just such a beautiful imagination because clearly no, we cannot fly. But I would imagine I'd fly all over the universe and look over and look, so.
Well, now, Emily, you became a mermaid for a profession. Did you want to be a mermaid as a kid?
So I've always been a mermaid at heart, and my dad used to call me, I was his little mermaid. I'm a mermaid because I was always a water baby. I learned to swim at like 4, 5, 6 months, and we would always go to the beach every weekend. So I feel like from the beginning, I've always been a mermaid. So it just goes with it. But I became a professional mermaid where I would get paid to do gigs and travel all over the country. I was about 22.
Wow. And we go to Donny. Donny, same question. What was the wildest or craziest, most imaginative thing you did as a kid that you realized would never work as an adult?
Let's see here. I wanted to be He-Man. I wanted to be He-Man. I ran around with a sword through my underwear when I was a little kid, and I told myself I was going to be He-Man, and my little cat was going to be Battle Cat. So that's cool.
I think that's cute on you, Donnie. I could see that. Let's go to our power couple.
There's pictures somewhere. There's pictures somewhere.
Let's go to our power couple. Each of you individually, what was the most imaginative, crazy thing?
Imaginative
as a kid?
as a kid.
Well, I don't know how imaginative it is. I guess, boredom creates imagination. So one of the things we did, we lived next door to like this gravel place. And they had this, 2-story awning over an area where they had this lava rock. And the slope that goes down this lava rock, this big pile of lava rock, which is this roof. So we would take a flying leap off of this roof and catch the edge of this lava rock. And now I just picture the paramedics,
right,
and broken things, and you don't bounce back like you used to. And that I'll say for myself, I'm in my 40s. I ain't speaking for nobody else.
Yeah,
but it was fun, crazy, imaginative, and I can't say I wouldn't do it today, but I would. It would definitely be against medical advice.
Yeah, that's definitely a free ride to some building for sure in a car or ambulance. And what about you, Tristen? You got one for that, or is he sharing the whole weight of that one?
I had a thing with Clash of the Titans back in the day, so I was wanting and desiring to be Princess Andromeda. In fact, I changed my name when I was a kid to Princess Andromeda, and I'm not that today. Of course, I could always have him. I could role play as Princess Andromeda if I want to.
Call back, love it. Call back. That's comedy, folks. Call back.
I need to put that on the
call back. Love that. I
happening next week.
I have one. I don't get to share very, very frequently, but you guys know from last week, as I already told you. I'm going to shorten the story. There was a bully in my school that told me he was going to beat my ass, and I was terrified. Terrified. I needed help, much bigger help than I could get on my own. So I thought, well, he won't beat me up if he thinks I'm a superhero. So what I did was I made a costume with the clothing that I had. I got my friend Kevin to help me coordinate. Kevin was like going to be my Alfred, like my sidekick. He would be the only one who would know my secret identity. He would be the only one that would know who I was when I wasn't in my costume. And I had this whole thing worked out where I was going to jump out into the schoolyard in my costume. None of the kids would know me, of course. They wouldn't even figure it was me. And I would be my own person to stand up for me getting my ass kicked by this bully. So that was it. And I was going to be Super Gerald, Super G. That was going to be me. And what got me out of it obviously it didn't work, but what got me out of it as I look back on it was realizing how much time it would take to stuff your costume underneath your regular clothes. and like, are you serious? Like, I'm gonna have to make a mask, and how am I gonna see out of a mask? I'm gonna breathe through a mask, and like, I'm not doing all that. That's too much work, So that was
I gotta imagine, bro, that if that guy did beat your ass, you'd at least have more cushion.
Exactly. I mean, I had the little.
You gonna do some blows, bro. I remember if I knew I was gonna get my ass whooped by my stepdad, I'd put a magazine in my pants.
Nice. Nice. And depending on which edition, right, you want to make sure it's a thick edition. Get the Christmas edition. Put that in your pants. We got one last question, guys. If you're in an expensive restaurant and the check comes, describe the check pay sequence. Like, for example, people like to say if they go on a first date, then the guy pays for the date. The second date, maybe the girl pays half. And the third date, maybe she treats. These are social norms. So I'm going to ask you a situation. You tell me who pays for the check in this situation. Situation number one, you're taking lunch with the boss, Donnie.
I'm gonna go with the boss paying.
The boss pays. You're not gonna try to impress the boss by paying for the. He said, hell no. All right, let's go to our power couple.
When we going out to eat,
I ain't paying for the boss's food. What do you guys think, Tristen Kicker? You taking the boss to lunch or the boss taking you to lunch?
I believe in the poem, the power play is to always pay. Always. It looks good on you if you reach for it. Even if they insist, you know, it looks good on you to reach for it first. And then if they bless you with it, then you're honored by it. But you know that you were always ready to step up and be like, you know what? I got you. I fed you today.
I agree.
Okay. All right, man. Let's go to Emily. Emily, you got a thought on that?
Yeah. I think if you should always be prepared to pay, and assume that you're paying, and then once they go and they insist, then you back down. But plan on paying.
What if they only insist like a little bit? You still gonna pay?
Well, it's a fine line. I mean, if they really insist, I would let them pay, but
Nice.
I would plan on paying myself.
Nice. And we're gonna start with Donny. We're gonna switch it a little bit. Let's say now you're not taking out the boss, but you're taking out a business client. This is a business client. You want his business. You want to get the account. Are you gonna pay for the meal? Or are you going to stand strong and say, well, look, this just shows how much business you guys already have. You obviously can treat me. Which way?
I would, if it was business clients, I would pay, definitely.
You're going to pay
something like I'm trying. Yeah, if I'm doing a sale or something like that, I definitely would pay for that because I want to take care of them because they're going to take care of me for a long time coming. And a sales world and a sales aspect.
And I like the thing that you had said when we were talking before, and you said something like, if there's nothing on the menu, what did you say? There's nothing's written on the menu, then you don't pay. You remember that?
If there's nothing written on that menu, you better put your wallet away.
I'm sorry, say again, Donny. You said if there's nothing on the menu, you tell it. You tell it your way.
If there's nothing, if you go to that restaurant and you like sit down with your boss, your clients, or whatever, and you open up that menu and there's no prices written on that thing, you better not want to pay for that bill.
Don't offer it then. Emily, what are you going to say? You going to take your business client out? You're going to let your business client take you out?
I always take, when I take a business client, I pay.
So
because it makes you as your company, a brand, look good, like you're successful. Even if you have to fake it, always pay. I mean, it keeps a good look.
Nice. And I lost track of my circle. Did I ask you guys already this question? Okay, good.
No,
then I didn't lose track. Business client.
We take the business client out. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we don't just pay, man. We offer an experience.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna remember this meal.
Nice.
We're gonna talk about
your business
something molecularly similar.
Okay. Open forum. What about the pastor, Donny? You're gonna take the pastor out. He's a holy man. He's a man of God. You're gonna take him out to lunch. You're gonna let him take you out to lunch.
Vice versa. I don't know. It depends on the situation. You could take them out and pay for them, or they could be taking you out. I mean, it all that's a situational thing.
Choose one.
I would let them pay for it.
All right, Emily, you gonna pay for the pasta? What was that face?
It depends, like on, like Donny was saying, on the situation. I mean, is the pastor asking me to go out to eat, or am I asking the pastor? So if you're a person of dignity, if you ask someone, you are paying. So if the pastor asked me, he is paying. But if I'm asking him, I'm paying.
Go, Donny.
Rule of thumb.
So here's the thing. It's all in the wording. Think about this. So if I call you, Ace, and say, hey, let's go out for lunch. Let's go get some lunch.
Yes, Donnie, let's go.
All right, let's go get some lunch. And this
Yes.
stuff opens back up.
You're
But anyways,
paying.
that's more, no, hold on. That is more like like we're paying for ourselves. We're bros going out to get some lunch, right? Or if hey, let me take you out to lunch today. I'll take you out to lunch tomorrow. You know what I mean? That to me is saying I'm going to take you out to lunch. You know that thing.
That's that thing where those powerful words, my treat, comes in. When you say, hey, let's go grab a sandwich. My treat, done, let's go. It's not really on our question list, but it is relative to this question. Just think about, I'm gonna come back to the two of you. I'm gonna ask the couple first. Who pays for the drinks when you take a girl to dinner? Like if you go out with a girl, is it a date if you're buying, or is it expected that you buy? Okay, couple, Tristen and Kicker, same question. You go with the pastor. Who's paying?
Pastor.
Pastor's paying, bro. He got Jesus money.
That's right. That's right. He's got the money.
You got Jesus money.
He's got the money.
You got Jesus money.
Okay, in open forum, whoever's got it first, who pays when the guy takes the girl out on the date? Who pays? If the guy's taking the girl out, the guy is paying. The guy is paying. Emily?
I can't believe
the guy
we're charged for alcohol.
The guy is paying. Emily? Guy paying?
I say the guy, just because in society that's just how we place it, and it's always been like that. So to change it just looks strange. I mean, it's just rule of thumb
look
again.
strange to my pocketbook.
I mean, it's another rule of thumb. Like the guy pays for drinks. Yeah. I mean, and again, it's just that stigma that we in society, like the guys pay for drinks. And I mean, for me, and that's how it's stuck in my head too. I mean, the guys pay.
The guys pay. Anybody
I feel like I want to ask something for Emily. Look at you keep, and this is just kind of something I know about. So you keep saying the rule of thumb. I don't know if you know what that means, but it actually means that you ain't allowed to beat your wife with a stick that's thicker than the girth of your thumb. That's what a rule of thumb is.
I have no idea.
You know, that's what you're saying when you say rule of thumb. So when I hear a girl say it, I'm like, I bet she don't know. She definitely don't. But I'm sure you ain't trying to endorse that, because I don't endorse that either.
And
unless she's into wit. She gotta ask.
I'm not into that.
And our show has just became edutainment. Edutainment. Last two, if you're going out with the pastor, we understand the pastor's going to pay. But what if you're going out with a prostitute? If you're going out with a prostitute, who's paying the bill with the prostitute? Homie? We go to Emily.
I would be paying because I want her time. That's just how it works.
There it is. Rule of thumb. All right, we go to Tristen and Kicker.
Hey, you pay a hoe to eat.
What is that? What do you pay a hoe to eat? What is? And then you just say it like that explains it all.
I know.
Okay, we're gonna go to Donny.
You gotta eat this. You gotta eat that.
We're gonna go to Donny on. Donny, who pays? You take a prostitute to lunch. Who pays?
Well, us probably, because you have to pay for their time. It's just like when someone hires me to DJ, and I have to go somewhere and play somewhere, and I usually get a meal, right? So I'm hiring them to do something of that nature. They should at least get a meal out of the deal.
I'm looking for. Okay, I was looking for the connection, but you made the connection.
In the DJ business,
yeah, it was going around the universe, but eventually he got to. Okay, last one. The president of the United States wants to go have a bite to eat with you. Who's paying for that? Who's paying for Donny T? Let's go to our couple.
Hey, he already paying everybody in food stamps. He already paying everybody bread and butter, bro. That's just happening right now. He's like, you hungry? Got you. Let me get you some stimulation.
We go to Donny. Donny,
The
who's going to
president
pay
pays.
when you go out to lunch or dinner with the President of the United States, Donny?
He got that government money, man. Let's just him do it. He's good.
He's good for it. He's good. You know, no one seems to think that he might dine and dash the President of the United States. We go to Emily Alexandra. Who's going to pay?
So, okay, this one I'll counter because I would want him to be impressed with me, and then possibly that could create a relationship to work with him or do something. Who knows? So it leaves that door for him to be like, oh, okay, this is impressive.
The next sugar daddy.
Oh my God.
Right there. He said it. You would do it. That guy's got a lot of money.
God.
Let me run this a different direction just for everybody real quick because we're not quite out of time. We got time for one more question. But when the President of the United States goes to dinner with the President of Russia, who do you think pays for the dinner?
I would say depends on where it's at.
I would
it's
say
in
they kill
Russia-
something together and just eat it.
Emily, you got a thought on that?
I would say the President of the United States would pay.
Even if they had dinner in Russia or if they had dinner in China?
Well, depending on if is Russia asking for the president to come over to talk about a treaty or something secret, then the Russians would pay. But if Trump is going over there to talk with them on his part, he would pay.
You guys realize tomorrow on my show, I've got to interview some Trump supporters who are going to be Republicans, and they're going to see this show tonight, and they're going to go, you know who pays? Don't take our guns. That's who pays. Don't take our guns. Anyway, that's me acting.
I was going to say, what if they just measure each other's missiles and that decides who pays?
Don't take our guns. All right, last question. You were asked to come up with a caption for this photo, and as we go out from the show today, everyone was a fabulous guest. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week and the week after and the week after that. So thank you again for being on the show. As we go out, what in the heck is the caption that you have for this photo? And we go to Kicker and Tristen.
Go ahead.
There's crack on everything around me.
He is untamed. Let's go to Donny.
Late night desires.
Late Night Desires, me likey. Emily Alexandra.
The story of my life.
Story of my life. Hey, speaking of the story of my life, guys, it has been the Sunday night edition. I love all my guests. You guys are so much fun to party with and hang out with. We're going to be back every week, every Sunday. Now what happens is the panel is open. You're welcome to leave your comments, ideas, opinions, suggestions in the feed. And guess what? We'll put your comments on our next show. And if you have a question, throw that in. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for supporting the Sunday night edition. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.